Let's talk about one of the big corporate reports we're getting through this morning. Aegon has reported operating profit in the first half that beat estimates. The Dutch life insurer, and it's not going to be a Dutch life insurer for much longer, and asset manager, also raised its share buyback plan for the second half, 150 to 350 million euros. Let's start there. Lard Friese is the Aegon CEO and joins us now. Good morning. Why such a big increase in the buyback? What drives that? What gives you the confidence to do that?
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having me back again on the show. This is all a signal of capital strength and continued momentum that we have with the company. We have a 1.7 billion cash buffer at the holding company that we aim to bring down to roughly $1 billion. We have printed today a very strong set of results with 27% uptick in our operating capital generation. And if you look at the capitalization of our subsidiaries, it's very strong. And this allows us to do two things today in terms of capital return. One is to announce an interim dividend that is 11% higher than last year per share of 21 cents per share, and an increase in the buyback program with 150 million to 350 million for the second half of this year.
Now, the solvency ratio has come down from the mid 180s, let's call it that, circa mid 180s. We're now, I think, in the high 160s. I think the floor that you set is 150. Where do you think the sweet spot is that you want to get to in terms of that number?
The group ratio is not what we should be focusing on. It's really the operating levels for the operating companies, because the holding company is just a derivative of that. The operating result of the operating solvency ratios of the subsidiaries is very strong, with 420% RBC in the US, but also the other ones in a very strong position. What you're seeing in the group ratio is that in the context of moving the company to the US, some of the bond instruments have been called by us in this half year. So this is all about the repositioning of the company. The focus is really on the operating company subsidiary solvency ratios, and they're very strong.
Lard, on that move to the US, what's top of mind for you in terms of potential execution risks with that operation?
Well, it's quite a complex process, right? We, driven by our conviction that the U.S. market is a structurally conducive market for us. It's the largest life insurance market in the world, and we have a thriving franchise there called Transamerica. Over the years, the relevance of Transamerica in our group has become bigger and bigger, and as a result, we're embracing the reality that the U.S. business is really our largest company, and we want to make it our home market. So we announced that we will move our legal seat and our head office to the United States, and that as we enter the United States in the beginning of 2028, we will also assume the name Transamerica for the holding company. That is a complex process, which is actually going very well, as you can see from all the things that we are doing to execute upon that. We are on track to get there. We are implementing US GAAP. We're moving our head office, setting up our new head office in New York. And as a result, we're on our way to the United States.
Does it always also tell us something, or at least signal something about Europe's space and Europe as a place to run a pension insurance and asset management business?
In our case, it's a very pragmatic embracing of a reality. Due to the success of our U.S. business over the last years, it represents now more than 70% of our group. And it's only logical that you at a certain point ask yourself, what is my identity? Where do I need to be? If 70 to 80% of our business is in the U.S., we want to turn it into our home market. You can only do that if you're close to it, a part of it fully, and as a result, we're moving our legal seat and our head office to the U.S. So it's really driven by that and by the opportunity of the U.S. marketplace for us. Mainstream American families are underserved by the financial services industry for quite a long time. And we have a unique capability in the US with a distribution organization with now more than 100,000 agents that are sitting down with mainstream American families to help them navigate through their personal finances. And with our brand, Transamerica, a very strong platform that has been there for a very long time, since 1908, we think we're very well positioned also in the future to structurally benefit from the growth that market has to offer.
You have a view over Americans' retirement and insurance decisions. Is the U.S. consumer becoming more cautious?
The U.S., we're not seeing that back in, let's say, our sales. If you look at the commercial momentum that we show that we demonstrate also with this announcement of results today, our life insurance sales are up 54%. Our retirement plan business is doing very well with strong commercial momentum. So across all the product lines in the U.S., we're growing. So what that tells me is that mainstream American families become more and more aware of the realities that they need to save for later, prepare for retirement, and make sure that they protect their families to navigate through life successfully. So far, that is what we are seeing in our results.
Are you seeing any shift in what products consumers want because yields are higher?
Well, what we are seeing is that customers, it's in different parts of the business, a different profile. In some of the retirement plans where customers are older and are closer to retirement, we do see a pickup of accessing the money in their retirement plans earlier. That's one thing that we see. Because the markets have been high, they've accrued a lot, and they're very close to retirement. So that's one thing that we see. Secondly, what we notice, and this is demonstrated by the 54% uptick in sales in life insurance, is that younger families are really wanting to ensure that they position themselves well for their children's futures, for their own futures as they navigate their life. So it's not a one answer to, it's a reality of the different profiles of customers that we service.
Okay, Lard, thank you very much indeed for your time. Lard Friese, Aegon's CEO.